Welcome to Oceanography and Meteorology, GEOL105. What I will be doing here is recording lectures. I'll be putting up the PowerPoint here in a moment. PowerPoint and the lectures will be available on Blackboard, and hopefully that will be a good way of going through the material while maintaining distancing and things like that. So what we'll do here is get our PowerPoint up here. And there we go. Oceanography and Meteorology. And there you have contact information. My office, if trying to get to me in person, is upstairs in With Row at the end towards the library. There's the office phone number. Email, don't forget the 2. I don't know who D. Campbell at Gardner Webb is, but it's not me. The regular lecture time is scheduled Tuesday, Thursday, 10:25 to 11:40, but because of the issues of the virus and social distancing, what we'll be doing is largely having the lecture in video format. That will give us more flexibility for starting out with the lab time. So what I am anticipating is probably what we'll do, have folks coming either Tuesday or Thursday during the regular lecture time doing labs, or at the Tuesday afternoon lab time. Some of the labs will be more flexible, basically just come by whenever to get what you need to do it. Others will require a little bit more coordination. The assignments in the class have 3 lecture tests, final exam, homework assignments. This will include questions on the video lectures. Okay, I'm double checking that you are viewing them, keeping up with that. Lab activities, most of those will be done in lab. There's one that involves a separate write-up, and some of them have things that you might be finishing up outside of class. Lab, there's a test and a final for the lab. We'll be doing presentations on topics relating to plate tectonics, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, and things like that. So we'll talk about that more later on in the class. Written assignments, you can email things to me. They don't have to be an actual paper copy. I will reply, letting you know I got the email. So if you don't get any reply, then try sending it again. Logistics with the honor cone. It's possible, to the extent that social distancing allows it, to work in small groups in the lab, working together on things, but you won't have the group when you're doing the lab tests. Be sure that you do understand the material. Of course, also during the lab, asking me questions will be a handy way of figuring things out. For homework type assignments, you can discuss things, the presentation that can be done potentially in a group working together, say with Zoom, Google Docs, whatever is convenient to work together as a small group. But what you turn in for homework should be your own work and tests, doing entirely your own work. So for example, homework, if you discuss question answers with somebody else, that's fine, but write what you think. Don't just copy something from somebody else. That's not going to help you learn the material. For attendance, we have the official Gardner Webb requirement of 75% of the classes. Comes to a total of 10 lectures and labs there. Also, making up lab information can be quite challenging. Letting me know in advance, that's probably going to be easier than, oh, I wasn't there, I noticed. So now, of course, if you get sick, you don't know that in advance, but anything that you can do, letting me know, planning things out. Again, given the hybrid situation, trying to deal with the virus, having questions to answer associated with the lectures will be what we'll do to measure the attendance. Lab does include some outdoor activities. There will be a set of labs measuring weather, for example. And of course, being outside, there's sunshine, there's mud, there's rain, there's different things there. So take that into account, be prepared. Some additional safety things if we are in classroom with row and need to evacuate. It turns out that going out, around, and out the front door onto the quad is the best option for evacuation. Now, of course, the front door is on fire. We'll do something else, but that's the standard approach. On the back of the door, there are window cards to use if we are to shelter in place. It's used. Green card says everybody in here is okay. Red card says we've got a problem in here. Also, doors to rooms should have stickers giving safety information in case that's needed. Safety equipment available. There's a fire extinguisher just outside of with row 109 in the hallway near the water fountain. The sink closest to the door has an eye wash. Turn on the water and pull out the knob, and that gives a flow of water you can use to wash if you get something in your eye. There's a first aid kit next to the second sink in a plastic tub there. I'll point these out in lab, but going ahead and kind of describing things for this as well. Rock room, rocks and minerals in use. Some of those are things that would not be good to eat. Of course, you wouldn't try to eat a rock, I'm sure, but there is dust around, things like that. Good idea to wash after lab if we are making use of any things like that. Do have a lab exercises that uses diluted acid as a chemical test. I'll let you know when that is. It's dilute acid, but still not something you want to spill on you. So for that particular lab, you'll need to have closed-toed shoes and long trousers or skirts, something that covers your legs. I will let you know when we get to that. And in the lab itself, when you are doing that, you'll also be using goggles and gloves, but that's something for that particular lab. If you're on the phone during class, then you're probably not really paying attention. Might be distracting others as well, so that's not a good idea. Likewise, of course, watching the video, it's tempting to multitask, but that probably isn't the best for learning things well. If the class doesn't have your attention, then you're probably missing some information. Some tips on note-taking. Studies suggest that the best approach to remember things is if you are writing notes by hand rather than typing. Apparently, you're processing the information somewhat more to do that. But for some people, typing may be more practical. It depends on the situation and what works for you. Just sitting there not taking notes is likely not so helpful. You might also want to take notes on chapters from the textbook, and it's also a good idea to be reviewing as you go along. That should help you keep up with the information and being prepared for the tests, and also will help you sooner know if, wait, I've got a question about this, well, go ahead and ask. One thing that is quite helpful in studying is if you find a way to quiz yourself rather than just read something and, oh yeah, I think I got it. Well, you think I got it, but do you? Doing a bit of a test is a good way to help check that. Some additional resources, finding me during the office hours, or if those times aren't so convenient, you can make an appointment. You can drop by. I'm often here outside of office hours, but I might be doing something else that's the advantage of specific hours. Given the challenges with the virus, we can also meet via Zoom or other platforms if you can figure out the technology for them. So just let me know and we can work on that as well. The Writing Center at Gardner Webb is a good resource for any sort of paper. They can help with many aspects there. Also have peer tutoring options. There's LEAP. Also, Natural Sciences has some tutoring options. So there are a variety of possibilities there. If there are any special needs working through Null Center, be sure you register with them, and also let me know. And there's specific rules. You don't have to give me any extra details, but just I need to know if there is anything special that I need to do to help you be able to learn well. We'll do a little bit of walking around, nothing strenuous, but that's one thing to keep in mind there. Through Blackboard, you can also access Turnitin, which is a program that provides some additional guidelines for avoiding plagiarism, something you can use. You can enter your paper and kind of double check, did you do things appropriately or does it recognize anything that you need to edit? At any point during the class, please let me know if you've got any particular needs or questions. That's what I'm here for. Throughout the class, ask questions. Obviously, in the online format, you may have to email things rather than just raising a hand like here, but I need to know. After all, the reason I'm teaching this is because I know about it. So what I'm saying, well, makes sense to me, but does it make sense to you? If not, let me know, and I will work to clarify and help you understand the material. Also, this course is primarily covering getting science requirement. It's not as if we have to cover a certain number of things to have you ready for Oceanography 2 or anything of that sort. So feel free to ask about things and we can talk more about something and then maybe not get so much something else. And that's fine. It just means that that's something we don't get to wouldn't be on the final. So feel free to ask questions. Let me know, hey, this is something really interested in. Let's hear more about it. Well, we can spend some more time on it. What is the focus of the class? Oceanography, meteorology. Oceanography, name's pretty obvious, it's the study of the oceans. And our textbook with that is the Panay Invitation Oceanography. I think the 7th is the current edition, but 6th, 5th edition, previous ones are fine. A used copy of one of those you can find pretty cheap online. So any of those should cover the information that you need there. Meteorology, of course, it's a study of weather and the atmosphere. We have a text of information that Dr. Edens put together that is posted on Blackboard for that. A little more introduction to me. Theological background is Presbyterian, specifically Presbyterian Church in America, if you have to be familiar with varieties of Presbyterian. Did my undergrad at Davidson, it's not too far from here, and master's and PhD up at Chapel Hill. And then I did a postdoc at Alabama. And before coming to Gardner Webb, I was working at a museum helping organize collections, paleontological research institution, which is up in Ithaca, New York. My research focuses on mollusks, snails, and clams, as you might possibly guess if you look around and with their 109. I work on fossils, also work on modern ones, or modern ones, study DNA sequences, as well as the shells and things like that. There's fossils, don't have the DNA there, but looking at the shells, so a variety of things there. Also, as we go through, there are likely to be a fair number of puns, things like that. Hopefully it helps make the class a little more interesting to listen to. Knowing about you, information to email me, name, if you go by a nickname or the like, that will be helpful for me to know. If you want me to send information to an email in addition to the Gardner Webb address, I have the Gardner Webb emails, but if you also are likely to be checking Gmail, whatever other email address that you want me to use, then just let me know there. And also, you can describe what's something that you're interested in relating to the class. Now, if you can't think of anything else, just I need to graduate, that's fine. That's one important function of the class. Graduation is a good thing. But if, say, well, yeah, I need the credit, but also I'm really interested in ocean life, or in waves, or in storms, or whatever it might be. If there's some topic you're interested in, let me know, and I can go through those, take a look, and say, okay, a lot of people interested in this, talk more about that. So that's the point of that question there. What we'll look at next, but this is a good time to stop the video, will be taking a step back a bit and looking more generally at science, what it does, and importantly also what it doesn't do, some limits to science, how to best understand it.